Guys, this is CW Younger, and this is the Yuz Revolution, where we use what we got to get where we need to be. And today I am joined once again by Raven. And this month we're focusing on peace. So I think you are a person that just exudes peace.
Thank you.
Like when I think about peace, and if it was in the dictionary, it'd be your picture.
Ha! That's awesome-tastic. Okay.
So, today I just have, since I'm saying that you exude peace, so today I just have a few questions about you. Well, not about you, but about peace.
Okay.
Well,
But you said,
if I
right.
say your peace, then, yeah.
If it's in the dictionary and see my face, then...
About you.
That's awesome. So let's talk about you today, Peace. That's great.
So, what exactly does peace mean to you?
Wow. Peace for me is life-sustaining. That's what peace means to me. I am a proponent of balance. I understand that you must have both sides of everything. However, I live and will die by peace, It is what I explain to people in conversation when we have those conversations about how you wake up, and how you maneuver throughout the day, that I never wake up in a bad mood. I don't. I honestly can't tell you the last time I woke up in a bad mood. I am a morning person. I am a night person. I am a midday person. I think
you
the
read
only
my mind.
time,
Right. Are you midday now?
I think the only time I'm not in a good mood is if I'm asleep and you come in and you like punch me or like jump on me or something. Then I have an attitude. But otherwise, no. I always wake up in a really good mood. Like I live my life in peace. And the longer I'm here on this earth, in this particular vessel, I become more and more peaceful. I separate myself more and more from the anger of the world. So peace for me is honestly life-sustaining. It's everything. I don't know what I would do with my life if I didn't have peace.
Okay. Well, as soon as you have kids, if you have kids one day, and you said if they jump in the bed with you, now my peace will go out. So say bye to the peace.
Right. It's like, okay, peace is gone now. Okay.
So, how would you say that someone would basically get on your level? How could they be peace?
Wow, which is funny because that's a phrase that I used to use all the time, and earlier this week I used it for the first time in God knows how long. Be peace. To get to that point, I honestly feel like it's a journey of understanding yourself. It's a journey that some people are often scared to take because they're afraid. People are kind of afraid to really get to know them. It's better to cover over your life with different people, other energies, kind of ignore being able to cultivate the proper relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can kind of push you out of the way and fill it with others, you don't really have to worry about finding your own peace. You become kind of comfortable in chaos, is what I think a lot of people do. People become comfortable in chaos. But to get to a place where peace is a way of life for you, it's getting to the point where you can separate yourself from the world and begin to cultivate the proper relationship that you want for you. Ask yourself the hard questions day in and day out, Experience things that make you angry and ask yourself, well, why is it that it made me? I do that all the time. Like, I'm in situations where something will make me mad, and I honestly ask myself, well, what is it that made you so angry? When I was younger, I didn't believe in balance. That's the reason why it's so important to me now.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if someone does something, I ask myself, well, how right were they in this situation? Can you see their side of things? Where were you in the situation? And when I work through and break down all of those things, that's where I find peace. Because I become physically ill when I'm angry. I become physically ill when I'm stressed. So I can't speak for all of you out there, but I know for me, it's troubling. It is genuinely something that could kill me if I wasn't in peace, you know?
Mhm.
So, what I would say to all of you out there is work on cultivating a proper relationship with you. Get to a point where you can say to yourself, I don't need for other people to be around for me to love and exist properly with me. I'm good by myself. It's a blessing that I can have other people around me, but I'm peace, you know?
Mhm.
I'm peace. I'm good right here. Somebody cut me off just now when I was driving down the street. Now, I'm not telling you my story. I'm saying it's for all of you out there. Um, I'm driving down the street and someone cuts me off. I have a moment of anger. We need to own that we're human. We're gonna have those feelings, you know. So I had an angry moment. You don't carry that 2 hours from now. And we all know people who will carry that anger 2 hours from when it happened.
Go to work hard, typing on your computer.
Exactly.
Oh, he cut me off.
And
I
then
just
taking
felt
it out on
angry.
other people, you know? And that's a whole nother conversation as far as going into people knowing how to manage their anger properly. But what I'm saying is be in that moment. Feel that anger at that time, acknowledge it, honor that anger, and then let it go. That's how you get to a place where I am, where you can live day to day in peace, is by understanding that we have to understand and honor the balance, but you don't have to exist in anger. You don't, honestly.
Hmm.
Anger fuels some people. I know some people personally that anger fuels them. But these are also people that when you see them, chaos always follows. You can look at certain areas of their life. People think that money means something. People think that just because they're well off, you know, they're doing great for themselves, nice home, nice job, can travel wherever they want, all that stuff, that that's happiness. No, that's what it looks like from the outside, you know.
Mhm.
But where are you internally? Internally, how happy are you? How often do you find yourself being miserable day to day inside? Those are all material things that will fade away. You don't take that with you, you know.
I think sometimes people pretty much like, what you said about the material things, like they push that inward and then they're like, well, I really am happy. Like, I made a 500,000 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And really they go home crying every night.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
those kind of people.
Because we too often do things for other people. We do things to show other people this. Aren't I living great? Don't I have the best life ever? You know. But the question is, why aren't you doing it for you? Why aren't you living for you? Human beings live too much for others. I have no problem admitting to people, and this is the reason why I call those who walk with us in my companies with the Revolution and the Love Movement, you are misfits, you know? Because you make a conscious decision every day that I don't have to be a part of the status quo. It's not necessary for me to feel like I'm a part of this bandwagon society. I can be by myself. As many people as I have around me, I often feel alone. And that's not in a negative sense.
Mhm.
I just sometimes feel like people don't really get, like, I have people think all the time that I'm phony and fake because I'm like, peace. You know, people are like, that's so phony. And I'm like, no, it's a reality. It's just that everyone can't wrap their head around, I don't need to be around everybody. You know? And that's also another conversation about being an empath. We have a million different directions we can go with this conversation, but yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so how do you think faith in a higher power ties into peace?
Hmm. Faith and higher power. I posted something last night on Facebook saying that I can't remember verbatim exactly what I said, but pretty much as long as I have a clear and conscious understanding of my faith in God, I'm good.
Mhm.
My faith sustains me, but my faith is based off of principles, not off of the idea that there is a higher being. If there is a higher being, cool. If not, cool. And let me explain. I can find out tomorrow that God doesn't exist. I can find out tomorrow that there was never such thing as Buddha. There was never such person as Jesus, you know?
Mhm.
And I would still be okay. The principles are what I live off of. You know, walking like Jesus, walking like Siddhartha. These are the things that sustain me day to day to live in peace. So that's the reason why faith is so important to me. It means everything to me, everything. And I've traveled the path of I was raised Christian,
Mhm.
and I had a small area of where I decided that I wanted to study Islam. I stayed in a space of being agnostic for a little while. And then I finally got to a point where I cultivated the proper relationship because, there are some people who will tell you that you can't have more than one faith.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, what religion is, you can't be, Jewish and then decide that you're going to be Baptist. And
Not at all.
you don't get to tell me my journey. So my whole thing is that at the end of the day, it's God, you know, God. And which I always think it's silly because when I talk about the universe, people are like, you're pushing God out, but who created the universe? Like, dude, get out of my face. Like, really? But anyway, so it's a situation where Buddha was a man, Siddhartha was a man, a prince. And Jesus was the Son of God. So I'm sitting here and I'm saying to you that there are teachings from these men that I personally choose to follow. That's my journey. That's what sustains me. But if you find out tomorrow that these men, these people who were on earth, didn't actually exist, no matter how great the power was of Jesus, because people are like, you say he was a man on earth, but okay, I understand all of the deepness that goes into it. But at the end of the day, none of that existed. When you find out that the Big Bang Theory was true, and we just suddenly all just appeared here like, ta-da!
I'm here.
Right, exactly. That doesn't mean that suddenly you just make a decision that I'm not going to church anymore. I have no reason to believe in absolutely anything. I'm going to get in my car and go and run over CW and be like, there's no hell, so who cares? Like, no, at the end of the day, we all have an innate understanding of what good and evil are. We may try to deny and say that we don't, but we do. You know inside of yourself what's good and what's bad. So I know that if I was to find out that all of those things that I was told weren't true, but the message still is, the message resonates. So I live my life off of the message. So I feel as though, to straight answer your question, it does everything for me. I was at a point where I was agnostic, where I wasn't necessarily sure. I know I wanted to have faith, but I wasn't necessarily positive that these things existed. So my closest friends were atheists. And I say were because on their journey, they've reached another level as far as it goes with spirituality. But when they were atheists, they gave me the best conversations. Far more open and less clouded than my friends who are religious or faith-based. So I will never down anybody if they tell me they don't believe in God. I'm actually more intrigued. Let's have a great conversation about where you exist. Because I know all of the conversations from people who say they believe in God. It's just recycled over and over and over again.
Same conversation.
Exactly.
Over and over.
Right. But you don't believe in anything, so I'm intrigued. So talk to me about what you do day to day. How do you keep yourself in a happy space? That's what I'm interested in. We live in a world that is so quick to judge and will say to you, you don't believe in God, I can have nothing to do with you. Stay away from my children. Why? That is so awesome that you don't believe what it is that I believe and you don't want to hurt people. You are atheist and you have no desire. For my religious and faith-based friends, where do you think the wars come from? Like, how dare you demonize people who don't believe the same thing that you do, but they're not the ones who are starting the wars?
Exactly.
How strange. How sad. But, but, this is the way of the world.
But I find like people, they're really not even following any kind of principles. They have no idea what really Jesus stood for. Because if they did, a lot of stuff that is happening would not happen.
Talk about it.
Like,
Talk
but
about it.
They don't want to hear all that.
It's a nice bumper sticker.
Yeah. What would Jesus do?
What?
Well, not that.
Well, there you go. There you go. I always say to people that I live my life doing my best to actually walk like Jesus. So when it's what would Jesus do? Okay, it's an actual question for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would he actually do? So it's mind-boggling to me that people like to be able to stick that up somewhere and be like, what would he do? It's like, no, ask the question and then don't just ask it. Do your best to live it. If people actually wanted to live like Jesus, this world will look very different. So that's how you know that people are fronting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the world wouldn't look anything like this if people actually did want to live
And
like Jesus.
there would be no way that we would be like, if the atheist friend came up to us, we'd be like, get out of here. Don't, you're going to put witchcraft on the children.
Right.
Like, get out of here. Like, there's no way that would happen if we were actually walking like Jesus. Like, they missed some parts. If you're following the Bible, like, you missed some parts where he was like, he hung out with the prostitutes.
Oh, absolutely.
But,
absolutely. He was up in there with the misfits. That's what I'm saying. Like,
he wasn't like, ooh, no, boo, boo.
Right.
Ooh, someone wash my hand.
I'll be performing no miracles on you today. Sorry.
He wasn't a bougie Jesus.
Right.
Like, he wasn't.
Let me find my hand sanitizer. Because I just touched her forehead and there's a
Exactly.
demon up in there. Yeah, no.
Okay, so this is actually my last question.
Okay.
Because we got a lot out of that from
Right.
just those two questions. So, do you think peace, happiness, and self-acceptance are the same thing? Or do you think people get those things confused?
Peace, happiness, and self-acceptance. I don't believe that they're all the same thing. I believe that one leads to the other. I don't believe that you can have peace nor happiness if you don't have self-acceptance. I don't. I believe that the other two will elude you for the rest of your life if you are not grounded in a beautiful, genuine, authentic love of self. And that's the awesomeness of that journey, the journey to get to a point where you can say to yourself, I love me, past the judgment of this society, past the hate of the world, past the negativity, I love me. And when you get to a point where you truly love yourself, therein is where you find your happiness. And then comes peace. So it's levels to this, You work on, because this world will tear you down. So
Yes,
there are very few people who are born into this world and can get to the point where they're 25 and say, you know what? I have loved me unapologetically this entire time. Whoever you are out there, please hit me up. I would love to talk to you because I want to meet that person who's just like, you know what? 25 years on this earth and I've been good this whole time. No one has ever made me feel like I was less than. That's an awesome person. But I know for me, for our personal testimony, I know what I've been through as far as people who weren't living in love of self. I tell people all the time that those out here, the people out here, these spirits that are bullies, are simply people who are hurt. And they don't know how to properly navigate that anger, so they take it out on others. And that's all that is, I don't believe that bullies, I don't hold any malice towards any of these people out here. These people who decide to commit mass murders, all of the people don't understand that spirits are hurting. People are genuinely hurt in this world. And we're so quick to judge. We're so quick to judge all of these people. The killers, the child molesters, like all of these people, these horrible acts that they do. And everyone is so quick to be like, you know what? You are the devil. And you are to be dealt with accordingly. These people are hurt. And I know that for people who are watching this or listening to this, it's hard to accept. I understand that. And I wasn't always this person. It took a while to get to this way of thinking. But the truth is that we are all children of God. Every single solitary one of us. And it's a horrible thing to decide that you're going to pass judgment off of what everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone. Definitely. And if they make a decision on the second chance that they're just going to do the exact same thing, then it's like, oh, well, I still love you. I still love you. I went to bat for you. I believe that it is still pain. However, I can no longer be a person that stands up for that, I believe that everybody gets that chance to be like, that was unspeakable what you just did. But let's try to find, I don't believe in the word try, let's work on a way to be able to really rehabilitate who you are, to get you to a place where you can understand the errors in your ways, and you can now make it back up to the universe, And that is where you learn to have peace within. Once you get that understanding of self, after these horrible acts that you've done, CW now understands CW. And that's where the happiness comes in. Even though I did all these horrible things out in this world, I had somebody who loved me enough to say, I'm going to give you a second chance. And because of that, I now see what happiness looks like. I know what happiness feels like. And now I'm working my way to peace because I'm going out into this world and making up for those horrible things that I've done. Everybody deserves a second chance. And I tell people all the time, if you don't believe me, and I say this with every single fiber of my being, something could happen to somebody in my life that I love, that I hold dear to me. God forbid anyone was to kill them. God forbid. But I need to make this very clear. Whoever did that, I would embrace them. And I mean that. I know that there are many people in this world who can't relate. Many people in this world who would say, oh, hell no, that's never happening. But my thing is that whatever led you to do that, your life is worth saving. And I want you to have an opportunity at redemption. For whatever it is you did to whoever it is that I love, you don't get off easy. You don't get to kill somebody I love and then be killed by, have the death penalty used on you and you get to leave. No, that's an easy way out. You will make it up, You're going to make it up to the universe. You're going to make it up to whoever it is that you did harm to, who I love. You're going to make it up. You're going to better yourself. And the blessings that you took away from them, you're going to put on yourself so that you can walk in the shoes of that blessing.
That's kind of like reminds me of the shooting in South Carolina, where all the families were like, we forgive him. You. And people were like, why would you do that? But it's like, not forgiving him, what are you going to do? Just live angry and sad for the rest of your life?
And there you go.
So it's like, they just chose, you have to let that go.
Yeah. There are people who will then turn and demonize you because you make a decision that you're not going to live in hate. But but what people don't understand about those families is that there is a peace. There is a Jesus that lives inside of them. These are people who do follow the teachings,
Yep.
because their whole thing is that at the end of the day, we have peace inside because we love you. You did a horrible thing, but we love you because we need peace. God has mercy on what takes place with you, but just know that we love you. And that love, that unapologetic love, is going to help us in the days ahead. Yeah. Absolutely. Peace is necessary.
It is. That's why I thought you would be the best person. Mr. Peace here.
Thank you. I've been honored to have this conversation. This is awesome.
So, of course, thank you for letting me interview you again so we can get this knowledge out. So, how can people contact you?
Well, first is my website, which is wearethelovemovement.com. You can also find me personally all over social media using Ravo CEO. That's Ravo CEO. If you want to find my Sensei page on Facebook, that's Ravo CLC for Certified Life Coach. And then lastly, if you want to find The Love Movement, which is my health and wellness brand, anywhere online, you can find it on Facebook and Instagram under We Are TLM. On Twitter, it is the TLM team. That's Twitter. And of course, my website is wearethelovemovement.com. It is a health and wellness brand that is out here for everyone. No matter who you are, it is all about love. And we focus on life coaching, on meditation, on Reiki, on yoga, on all things fitness. And we are looking to make an amazing change in this world because love is our legacy.
Yep. And of course, check out all those things he just said because you have some upcoming events. So definitely check that out.
Yes.
To hear about the events.
Awesomeness is about to take place. Absolutely. All over the place.